Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Aucoin, founder of HabitBased Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring, where we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. Our mission is to empower gym owners and coaches to feel confident when talking about nutrition to their members and their community. At HabitBased Nutrition, we teach nutrition coaching through a simple, habit-based approach. Today, I am so excited to have our Director of Nutrition Education, Ashley Osterman, back on the podcast. We discuss why we focus on habit-based approach for nutrition coaching and the top takeaways from the Basics of Nutrition Coaching course, the new CrossFit Preferred Nutrition Course. We discuss why you should focus on a holistic approach and how to empower your clients to live a healthy lifestyle through a habit-based approach. Enjoy. Ashley Osterman, welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Well, thank you, Nicole. So happy to be here like always and excited about what we're talking about today.
Man, today is such a fun topic and it really is the foundation of healthy steps nutrition, healthy habits.
Healthy habits, so important. You know, as a nutrition coach, it's so important to remember that your clients don't need another diet. In fact, most people try between 7 to 10 diets before seeking the help of a professional.
That's a really important thing to keep in mind as a nutrition coach as new people are coming in because they've tried different things that may have worked in the past, may have given them some results and they might think they need to go back to that, or they've tried things that have not worked at all. So understanding and having empathy with new clients is really important to know where they're coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. As a nutrition coach, we are in the relationship business and you have to build that relationship. You have to build that rapport and that trust for people to really open up and trust you to help them reach their health and wellness goals.
Ashley, when we talk about healthy habits and a habit-based nutrition coaching program, it's not flashy.
No.
And people might think it's too easy.
Yes, that is true. You know, and when I have clients that tell me that this seems too easy, I say, great, awesome, show me. Go ahead and let's tackle this habit and let's do it consistently and show me that it's too easy and then we'll move forward to something else. You know, research shows that people who try a diet or a quick fix or a challenge, most people, in fact, 2/3 of people who diet and go on a restrictive plan will lose weight, but they end up actually gaining that weight plus more back. And you know, why is that? And that comes down to not having a solid foundation, which is built with healthy habits. It's a lifestyle.
People need a lifestyle, not a quick fix. They need real food, not food products. And your role as a nutrition coach is to guide them and give them the support that they need, right?
Absolutely. And we do so, and we teach nutrition coaches to do this utilizing a habit-based approach. You know, using a habit-based approach to help your clients consistently build healthier routines into their life, one step at a time, is the key for sustainable success.
So let's put some application into this. Like, talk to me about how you would actually work with a client to create healthy habits. Where do you start when you're talking about habit-based coaching?
Well, I think the most important part to talk about and start with is really keep it simple. Like you said, it's not flashy. Some people might think this is too easy, but that's what we want. We want simple changes one at a time. You know, research shows that when we try to overhaul our lives all at once, or we do a crazy restrictive diet or a challenge, that we're not going to be sustainable with those results because we need to focus on one thing at a time. If you work on one habit, one healthy lifestyle change, and just one, research shows that the sustainability of keeping that healthy habit for a year or more is 80% or higher. But then when we talk about 2 habits, the sustainability of actually being able to do that for over a year plummets to 35%. And then talking about 3 or more, your success rate goes down to below 5%. So really keeping it simple and working on one habit at a time and making sure that your client feels like they can consistently complete that habit. You want to make sure that they have the buy-in and they know that they can actually commit to doing that. So let me give give you an example, what I use for a lot of my new clients, adding veggies. Seems simple, right? But most people don't eat enough non-starchy veggies with their lunch and their dinner. So having them start that as a healthy habit and working on something like that first, they'll see a lot of really great results.
When we're talking about habits, thinking of what things you can add instead of things that you can take away is going to foster a more positive relationship with food and make it easy for your clients to want to stick with it. If you're constantly telling a client, you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't do this, your brain just naturally wants to have more of that, right?
Yeah. When we restrict, we end up, binging or wanting that more, right? So instead of taking things away, which kind of promotes a restrictive diet, in my opinion, look at adding things. And we'll find that by adding things like more veggies or more water, that we're going to start to see some of those great lifestyle changes because, hey, I'm drinking more water. I might not want as much of my sugar-loaded beverages that I normally will have. Or, hey, I'm eating way more veggies with lunch and dinner, so my portion sizes might start to decrease because I'm getting fuller with all that fiber and those healthy phytonutrients.
Absolutely. When you're talking about meeting with clients and keeping it simple, the first step is really assessing where your clients are at. So a healthy, simple habit of eating vegetables, if you're already eating a ton of vegetables, probably isn't something that we need to focus on. We can move on to the next thing. So as a nutrition coach, you really have to spend time figuring out where your client is at and digging deep to understand how you can help them. And a lot of times the first habit is what worked well in the past that we're not doing, that we've gotten away from.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't reinvent the wheel. If we find out that something worked well in the past for a client, let's revisit that. Let's utilize that. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, if we find out something didn't work so well in the past, let's not go down that road again.
Exactly. So there's so many things when you think about a habit-based approach. We want to keep it super simple. Ashley, one of our favorite books that we always refer to is Atomic Habits. And one of the things that they talk about, James Clear talks about in that book, is habit stacking.
Yes, habit stacking. This is a super secret tool that nutrition coaches should be using. It's not secret, and I highly recommend you read that book by James Clear. Basically, habit stacking is taking something that we already do as a regular habit or routine in our life and adding something on top of that. So one of the most common examples I like to use when talking to nutrition coaches is if your client's trying to drink more water. Maybe we know that every morning they wake up and they brush their teeth and wash their face. So we're going to add drinking a glass of water into that habit, add it on, stack it to that routine.
I love that. So habit stacking is a really great tool to use so that your client isn't having to create something new from scratch. At the very beginning, they can just add it into something that they're already consistently doing.
Absolutely. I actually recently worked with a client and we're trying to get her on track with meal prepping a little bit better to set herself up for success throughout the week. And I found out that she goes grocery shopping every Sunday afternoon. And I said, great, so let's block off some time on your calendar. So after you do that habit of grocery shopping, you're going to have some time to do your meal prep. So really, like you said, Nicole, building that relationship, digging deep, finding out what's working, what's not working, and then finding those opportunities that we can stack new healthy habits on top of something else that they're already consistently doing.
I love that. What are some other things that we need to think about when we're talking about habit-based coaching with clients?
Well, I think one really important thing to think about as well, besides keeping it simple, is consistency. We find that with most clients, when they're having a hard time hitting a plateau, not seeing success, the biggest problem is inconsistency. So when we're talking about habits and changing lifestyle, we also need to find a way to track those habits. For our clients who use the HSN app, there's a great feature in there that they can use to check off their daily habits as they're assigned by their nutrition coaches. But if you're not using the HSN app, you're not an HSN client, you need to find some sort of way to be able to track and also have that feedback loop.
Having a way to give your clients feedback beyond in-person consultations is so important when you're trying to build a relationship, help them understand, hey, you need my help, you need my support and accountability for long-term success. So you really need that. And I think that was a mistake that I made starting private practice. I would meet with a client and then not have too much conversations with them or too much interaction with them until the next follow-up visit. And I was wondering, why did they fall off? There was just too long that went by to not help them. So if you have a way to consistently check in with your clients, we recommend a check-in day.
Yep. I do one day of the week, and it's always on the same day. I use Fridays, and my clients are accustomed to that, and they're accustomed to getting that message from me. They're accustomed to that check-in, and that's so important for that feedback loop, because we can help prevent potential downfalls in their plan and getting off track if we're there and we're being able to consistently provide that feedback, depending on what's coming up in their life, or if they're having a hard time staying on track with their habit, and reevaluating or creating a plan to help support them.
Absolutely. And it's a way for you to track trends too. Yeah. Like, are we consistently doing something, or is there a struggle, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to have a consistent way to track habits. We use the HSN app. I've used Google Forms and Google Sheets in the past, just having them fill out that Google form every Friday, for instance. Like, did you actually do what you said you were going to do? And if you're looking at building an ongoing nutrition coaching base, you need to be able to give that feedback beyond in-person visits. So having a streamlined way is so important. Gosh, if you don't have that, what's going to happen is your clients are going to text, Facebook message, email you, and it's going to be impossible for you to keep track of conversation. So we need a consistent way of helping clients provide that support and accountability for sure. Habit tracking is a vital piece of the puzzle that you need to figure out if you want to scale your nutrition program.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we want to make sure that they are completing their habits and they're staying consistent, and we're not falling into that inconsistency, common mistake that most people make. And, again, that's why everyone needs a nutrition coach to help them stay on track and to keep them accountable and support them through no matter what's happening in their life.
I think sometimes your clients hit a plateau. Mm-hmm. And especially, in this season, a lot of things are going on, right?
Oh, yeah.
People are working from home. They're going back to school. Kids are home. We're virtual school right now. Like, so many things are happening that if someone doesn't have a good relationship with their nutrition coach, they have a slip up. They're going to say, this is a waste of money. I'm falling off. Like, I'm just going to cancel my nutrition program. Right. Versus, hey, actually, I think I need more help. I need more accountability. And that's literally what happened with one of my clients a month ago. He came in and he had been out of town for a while. We sat down. He's like, Nicole, I've hit a plateau. And he's over 300 pounds. He didn't hit a plateau. It was really consistent around the 7 days that he was coming to see me, and then inconsistent around those other days. And, I had to have a tough conversation with him, like, hey, it's not possible for you to hit a plateau right now. Like, you're doing really good around the times of these consults, and, you're falling off, and all of your hard work around the consults is being counteracted by the lack of consistency and the other times. I was like, I think that we need to increase accountability. He goes, you're right. I need to come here every 2 weeks and get in a better routine. So he did. And then I'm going to finish this story after we talk about the next thing. But that's such an important piece of the puzzle, right? Like, we have to figure out and have that relationship with clients of, hey, I'm here to help you, and you have to be consistent to see results.
Yep. And building that trust and that support for them to be able to tell you when something's not going right. If we don't have that relationship, then like you said, they're going to be more likely to just cancel their membership and kind of go off to the next thing. But having that trust, building that relationship, which nutrition coaching is, it's relationship, building that relationship, building that trust. Your clients are more likely to tell you when something's going wrong, and then you can be there to help build a plan and support them no matter what is happening.
When we talk about habit-based coaching and what we do at HSN, we really focus on a holistic approach.
Yes.
And, one of those things is nutrition. We've got exercise, we've got stress, we've got sleep. There's so many pieces of the puzzle, but one of the most important pieces that I often think gets overlooked is the inner circle.
Yes, your lifestyle and support is so crucial for you in either helping you achieve your goals or inhibiting you from reaching those goals. Spheres of influence is incredible when it comes to looking at your long-term success and your client's success towards their long-term goals. You need a friend, an accountability partner, a coach, a neighbor, a roommate, someone to help support you on your journey. And again, inconsistency is the biggest reason that we've seen for failure and lack of long-term success. So when you have somebody in your sphere who is constantly tempting you with unhealthy food or having you, consume excessive alcohol or whatever other negative factors, it will inevitably bring you down and cause you to not reach that goal. So in fact, you'll actually be more successful long term if you have a positive support system around you. And this is more than just a nutrition coach, right? It's who are the people that you're spending the most time? Who are your 5 closest people that you spend a majority of your time with? And really, what are they doing in order to support you? Or maybe they're doing the opposite and actually inhibiting your success.
I think this is such a huge piece of the puzzle. And one of the reasons why we love when couples do nutrition coaching together, like we don't give them a discount, like they both pay for nutrition coaching, but they can keep each other accountable, right? And when we look at, goodness, like Jason, my husband, if he makes brownies, which happens, or cheesecake, which happens, I'm more likely to eat it, but I'm never going to go buy brownies. I just won't do it. But if it's in the house and he's making it and I can smell it, of course, like they're tempting, right?
Absolutely.
And if you have someone that's consistently having those temptations in front of you, it's only a matter of time until you slip up.
Absolutely. Same thing with my husband. We have a young child, and sometimes it can seem almost impossible for me to get out to the gym. So from him seeing that and being like, no worries, hon, I'll watch Owen right now, not a problem. You go get your workout in. That really helps support me in my health and wellness goals. And him doing that is really keeping me on track. And, likewise, him with me and me with him.
Jason just texted me right before we started this podcast and was like, hey, what time are you working out today? Like, get your butt to the gym. And it's not that he's like telling me to stay in shape. He knows that's my stress relief. So,
yeah,
I think it goes into your support system has to understand your why.
Absolutely.
So like, why do you exercise? For me, it's 1,000% stress relief. Like it is 1,000% my way and my motive to, release everything else that's going on. I can block out all the other things that are happening. And same thing with you and exercise.
Absolutely. For me, it helps me with stress relief, and it also increases my just like health and wellness. I feel like I have more energy. I feel like I have clearer thoughts. So much benefit I see when I exercise. And, in the other end of the spectrum, when I don't get in for a while and I'm not exercising for a while, I feel the negative effects. So, my partner understanding why and supporting me means so much. And we see this sometimes too with our nutrition clients, especially if they're the ones doing the cooking or the grocery shopping at home.
Absolutely. So if your client is not doing the grocery shopping, they have someone else that's making all the food, and that person doesn't understand what they need to do to make a healthy meal,
right?
We're going to have a roadblock that we have to overcome. Versus, could you invite that person to come into a consultation and understand, hey, why does this person need to eat this way? What is the why behind their goals? How is it going to help benefit the partner, right?
Absolutely.
Everyone being on the same page just makes it so much easier. And also the fact of, let's say we have a mom who's a nutrition client. Her making a separate meal for herself every single day is not sustainable.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Sometimes it almost seems impossible to make one meal for the family, let alone being a short order cook for everyone in the house.
So everyone understanding okay, we're eating this way, and maybe I'll make spaghetti sauce, which is something that we do often, and we'll make spaghetti squash for Jason and I, and then the kids will have some pasta and some spaghetti squash. Great. But we're all eating pretty much the same thing. So if you make it so that everyone can be eating pretty much the same thing, it's going to help that long-term success.
Absolutely. And, bringing back to, if you're a nutrition coach, you really need to be looking just beyond nutrition and exercise, really focusing on the whole client, the holistic approach, looking at all areas that could either help support them or inhibit their progress on their journey to health and wellness.
I want to go back to my story about the client who increases accountability. So
yes.
2 weeks later, he comes in, totally different attitude. He's like, Nicole, and he sits down, he goes, I've never been this good. And I'm like, why were you so good? What happened? What's going on? What positive thing has changed over the past 2 weeks? He goes, Nicole, my spouse is on board. We got all the junk food out of the house, and she's super excited, and I'm super excited. And she even texted me on my way here saying, you go nail that weigh-in. And I'm like, you know what?
Yes.
You have the support of your spouse now, and it's going to be so much easier for you to achieve the results that you want because you're not having to cook something different for yourself. You don't have the temptations of all the junk food in the house. I mean, I think any of us, especially the ones that are working from home now, it's too easy to just go to the kitchen and grab a handful of something, and one handful turns into 5 handfuls throughout the day. And then
Yep.
all of a sudden you've mindlessly ate something that you didn't really even need.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of those things that we realize now, being at home more often, that it could definitely be a roadblock. So doing that closet clean out, getting the whole family, the spouse, the partner on board is really going to help your clients find that success that they are looking for. Nicole, we recently released a incredible course that we've been working on for quite some time now.
It's been years in the making.
Oh my goodness, the Basics of Nutrition Coaching CrossFit Preferred Course.
Yes. So we now are the second CrossFit Preferred course. We've joined our friends at Precision Nutrition. They also focus on a habit-based approach. And, Ashley, we made this course, we released it, and then we're having a conversation. We're like, all of our mentoring clients need this amazing content.
Of course, we have to give it to them.
So we decided to revamp the entire HSN mentor training again, which it gets an annual update. It just happened a little bit earlier this year, which is great.
And I'd say it more of a facelift now than an update. It is
everything.
Incredible. If you are an HSN mentoring client, you now have access to all of the incredible Basics of Nutrition Coaching course, plus some extra lessons and info in there about the HSN app and business side, and it is just incredible.
Super pumped about it. I want to talk about a couple takeaways that we have from this course. What would you say, and then I'll give one too. What would you say is like your main takeaway from this Basics of Nutrition Coaching course?
Well, I think one of the big things, and also the topic of this podcast, is focusing on a habit-based approach. It is so important to help empower your clients to make health a way of life. It needs to be a lifestyle. Your clients don't need another diet or a quick fix. They need to learn how to make healthy habits and make healthy lifestyle changes for long-term success and health and wellness, whatever their goals may be. And I think throughout the course, we really talk about that importance and give so many great examples on how you can do so and empower nutrition coaches to help your clients be the best versions of themselves and have that be sustainable for the long term.
I think that's so important, right? Like we have to keep it so simple so clients feel 100% confident that they can actually implement what they said they're going to do. Because realistically, most people sign up for a nutrition program, they've done a nutrition challenge in the past where they've done something super restrictive or changed too much at one time, and then they end the challenge and then they go right back to old habits, which are not the good habits, right? So instead, if we really help clients understand, let's keep it simple, let's focus on one thing at a time so that you can nail this thing, get the success, which leads to motivation to continue, you're going to end up building a more healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. And I think another big takeaway is, as a nutrition coach, you are in the relationship business.
This is such an important piece of the puzzle because you have to build a membership, not have to build a membership, but you need to build a program where you are including ongoing support for your clients.
Yes.
Your clients can read anything on the internet. They probably can read what you tell them in an initial consult on the internet. They're not paying you for knowledge. They're paying you for accountability and support. And you have to realize that as a nutrition coach, that if you build a program where you're providing your clients accountability and support, number one, you're going to help them achieve long-term results. And number two, you're not going to start at 0 clients every month because you don't want to have to just sell clients on another consultation every time they come back in. You just want it to be a part of their membership. Hey, when are we booking this next follow-up visit? All right, I'm going to check in with you every Friday. And now you've built that relationship and they have that support and accountability they need to achieve long-term success.
Absolutely. And I know in the course, we recommend having a 3-month minimum intro commitment. And that's what we do at HSN HQ because we know to see good results, it's not going to happen overnight. Again, we focus on a habit-based approach in making lifestyle changes. And that's not just going to happen in one visit or 1 month. So we recommend having a minimum of 3-month commitment to sign up for this nutrition coaching membership.
Absolutely. And if let's say someone did a nutrition challenge, and a lot of gyms using HSN will launch with the nutrition challenge. We run 1 challenge a year. Great. Maybe 2. But that's it. People can convert to ongoing coaching right after that challenge, but they need to commit for 3 months. Because again, I don't want to feel like I'm having to sell someone every single time they come in.
Yes, absolutely. I think the third takeaway from the Basics of Nutrition Coaching course is to keep it simple, but also to remember to be flexible with your approach. Nutrition coaching is not a one-size-fits-all business. You're going to have different people with different circumstances and different lifestyles and different restrictions and different situations come through your office, and being ready and prepared with the tools to help support them no matter what they're dealing with in their life, and utilizing that holistic approach will really help you just to continue to build that trust and build that relationship for the long term. Nicole, we have so many clients at HSN HQ that have been with us for years.
If you can be flexible with your approach, but also focus on a holistic approach, it's going to be easy to really help your clients no matter what season of their life they're in.
Right.
You think about it and you can relate it to CrossFit. Like the same cue that I use for you to teach you a muscle up is not going to be the same cue that I use to teach someone else. Not the same cue is going to work for every single person. And maybe I have to tell you 5 different things. Progress isn't a straight line. So helping people understand, hey, you got off track. That's all right. Let's get back on track. Not a big deal, but we can't go a month or 2 months, 6 months of going off track without getting back on.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
You have to be flexible with your approach for sure. And I think that goes along with saying you have to be on a quest of constantly learning.
Yes. Just because you take one course or do a certification doesn't mean that you end your learning there. It's a continuous journey to add more tools to your toolbox to be a more confident and effective nutrition coach. And we know things change all the time. Oh gosh, every time I'm in the grocery store, I see a new fad diet advertised on a magazine. So you need to understand and see and hear and look at what your potential clients are seeing and hearing and looking at. So I think it's, a journey of always continuing to build that education, build that knowledge base so you can be flexible and help anyone who comes through your door.
And you do such a great job at HSN Mentoring as our Director of Nutrition Education to constantly be giving more tools for our nutrition coaches to help them feel confident. So you do an amazing job. I'm so excited for all the things that are coming for the rest of this year and in 2021. Goodness, we're pumped. This kind of wraps up our Nutrition Healthy Habits podcast. Any final thoughts, anything actionable steps that are hey, if you're a nutrition coach, do this one thing?
I would say if you're a nutrition coach, you need to be practicing what you preach. So you need to be having and maintaining and consistently building your healthy habits. So I challenge you to habit stack something this next week. Look at something you do that's a great habit and something you want to achieve and add it on top. And then you can speak from experience when you're talking with your clients.
Love that. All right, guys. You heard it from Ashley. Basics of Nutrition Coaching course is now live. Start using a habit-based approach with your clients. If you've gone from completely macros to now starting with a habit-based approach, just start talking about why habits are important and the role of habits in long-term success.
So important.
By focusing on a habit-based approach, you can work with clients to create a simple plan and empower lasting changes. Since releasing the standalone course, we've gotten a number of emails asking for the difference between the mentoring program and the standalone course. So I want to spend the next couple minutes explaining the differences. The Basics of Nutrition Coaching course is designed for coaches looking to gain knowledge about nutrition coaching or clients who have been through their own transformation themselves and are looking to learn more about nutrition coaching. The cost of this course is a one-time fee of $7.99. The mentoring program is designed for gym owners and coaches looking to build a nutrition business. We go through everything in the Basics of Nutrition Coaching course, as well as giving you all the tools and resources that we use at HSN HQ so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So in addition to teaching you the fundamental skills to become an effective nutrition coach and how to apply theory into practice, we also go into how to build the business. So from pricing and packaging to marketing to what your website should say, and of course, how to utilize the HSN app. This program includes online modules as well as mentoring calls to help you apply the information and work directly with the experts to ensure you are doing it right. The first step to get started with mentoring is to book a free call. The goal of the mentoring program is to empower a coach to head up the program. And if you don't have a coach that's a good fit, maybe you have someone within your community. As a gym owner, you cannot wear all the hats. So the mentoring program is really designed for you to plug in the missing piece of the puzzle in your business, nutrition. Next week on the podcast, I am so excited to have someone who has done an amazing job building a nutrition program. We have head coach of Cigar City CrossFit, Ariel Murray, coming on as a guest on the podcast. During COVID, she doubled the growth of her nutrition coaching program. Listen to next week's episode to find out how.